Remember playing sports when you were a kid. Remember playing in the playoffs of a tournament and that excitement that went along with that. Remember making it to the championship game, be it an AYSO, maybe in your high school CIF championship. Remember that feeling of pride when maybe you came along with that trophy at the end. You beat that other top team. Remember that feeling, holding that trophy in your hands, that feeling of pride with your teammates. Wasn't that exciting? You guys were all so proud at that moment. But what if you weren't necessarily the best team because of that victory? What if you weren't playing against the best opponent that you could have been playing against, and you weren't as validated and proud as you could have been? That's something. That's a thought, a general consensus that has come across the college football community, across the fans, and that's something we're here to talk to you about today. Hello, my name is Robert Ricci, and I'm an ESPN college football analyst, and this is my friend and colleague, AJ Sooter. He's going to talk about the college bowl game series.
Alright, as Robert said, my name is AJ Sooter, and as a BCS, the governing body of college football, you should want what's best for college football. A little preview of tonight, we're going to talk about the current BCS system and tradition. We're going to talk about how the integrity of college football is at stake, and we are going to give our three-point solution. So first, I'm going to talk about the BCS system and tradition. The college football season is 11 games long. If you play in a conference championship, it is 12 games. And if you add a bowl game to that, it's 13 games long. So there's 34 bowl games. Such games such as the Champ Sports Bowl, the Chick-fil-A Bowl, or the Alamo Bowl. But as a BCS, you represent 5 of those bowl games: the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and finally, the National Championship. This is taken from ESPN Online. It is the top 25 rankings that the BCS comes up with every week. The top 14 are eligible to play in our 5 bowl games, and it is based on overall record, strength of schedule, and a poll that the coaches come up with. So the National Championship. The BCS has been hosting the National Championship for 11 years. It is, the teams who play in it are the top 2 in the rankings. It is the very last game of the season, and the winner receives this coach's trophy. So bowl games have been considered to be college football's greatest tradition, and we agree with that. College bowls are a great tradition. Our changes are going to keep this tradition, and hopefully you agree that they're going to make it better. However, the integrity of college football is at stake, and my partner Robert is going to tell you what is wrong.
Alright, well, what is wrong? Like this guy, you might be thinking the same thing. What is wrong with college football's ranking system currently, and college football in general? Well, there's 3 points I'd like to talk to you about today. First off, money distribution, and how it could possibly be a little bit more equitable and fairly shared. Second, the computer ranking system, and how it could possibly be better, and definitely distribute the teams a little bit better, despite that we do believe the top 25 teams are well ranked with the current system. Thirdly, we'd like to just discuss the fact that the fans just don't like it, and that's something we feel is very important to us, considering they're what really make college football a great tradition and experience that it is. Alright, so money distribution. 2 facts I'd like to share with you right now. First fact, there are 120 teams that start the season in search of the national championship. Second, the national championship has been in place for 11 years. Alright, how many teams do you think have played in that national championship in the history of college football? Think about it. There have only been 11 teams ever in the history of college football to play in the national championship. That is a very, very low number. Alright, the BCS is a billion-dollar industry, and 80 to 90% of that money goes to our BCS teams. So furthermore, we do not have a fair, equitable distribution process among those teams, because our teams and our billion-dollar industry are not held to the tax laws of the country and are not untaxed due to our agreement with the federal government, and are not held to the antitrust laws. It is on us to make it fair. and I believe that you believe, we should really make sure that this is as equitable and fair process of distribution as we can. Alright, the ranking system. We currently have a computer ranking system, and here, from the BCS online, is a description of the BCS current ranking system and how it goes about. So, this is the selection process. Look at this. Pretty confusing thing, right? Lots of stuff going on. Now imagine there's 6 to 7 more pages of this on the website. Very long and confusing process that we hope to simplify and make more clear. Alright, the National Championship. It features the best 2 teams. Or really? Are we sure? Alright. In 2012, number 1 team, LSU. The number 2 team was Alabama, and the number 3 team was OSU. Alabama had a 12-1 record. OSU had a 12-1 record. And both teams were separated by the mere slim margin of .0086 in the current ranking system. Alabama played in the national championship and had that opportunity to win. OSU did not. That's something we really hope to change and give teams like OSU an opportunity to prove themselves, as they did not have that opportunity. Furthermore, fans disagree too. Fans like these, who support our problem and our college experience, fans who pay for the tickets that support our supports our teams financially, and the whole college experience is because of them. All right. Furthermore, 86% of these college fans disagree with the current BCS system and want a playoff system, which we propose. Furthermore, that is an overwhelming amount, and we really need to pay attention to these fans that make everything possible. Furthermore, we want to spread the love to these teams. We want to spread the love to all the college football teams, or at least to as many as we can. Currently, only 11 teams have ever played in the national championship, and with our process, we hope to expand that number and get more teams and fans involved in the hopes of playing in a national championship in that process. Our complete solution. Currently, I'd like to turn it over to my dear friend AJ Sooter to explain to you how we're going to fix these problems.
Alright, so what is our 3-part solution? It is an 8-team playoff bowl system. We're going to take out the first game of the season, and we're going to reallocate the lost bowl games to the playoffs. So the 8-team playoff is going to provide us with a merit-based champion. It's going to solve the 2012 OSU problem that Robert already talked about. It's going to give more teams a shot at the national championship, which will spread the love around college football. And overall, it will just increase interest in college football, and it will give us a growing fan base. This is a picture from the 2007 Super Bowl. It was a game between the number 1 seed in the AFC, the New England Patriots, and the number 6 seeded in the NFC, New York Giants. Overall, going into the playoffs, the Giants were the 12th ranked team in the NFL. The Giants won this game 17-14, and it was one of the greatest upsets of all time. According to NFL Online, this was the greatest Super Bowl of all time. And if the BCS system was in the NFL, this game never would have happened. And this just goes to show that just the number 1 ranked or the number 2 ranked team should have a shot at the national championship. And secondly, we're going to throw out the first blowout game. We have 3 examples from the 2008 season of opener games. LSU played North Texas and won 41-3. Oklahoma played Chattanooga and won 57-2. Texas played Florida Atlantic and won 52-10. A lot of critics of the playoff bowl system have said that it would add too many games to the college season. However, if we throw out this game and add our playoff system, it would actually be only adding 1 game to the regular season. So how are we going to implement the bowls into the playoffs? This is a sample bracket, and we're going to input our 5 original bowls into the playoffs. Therefore, we would only need to add 2 BCS semifinal games. This will only increase revenue because these will be highly watched and highly competitive games. And now I'm going to pass it over to Robert to sum it all up.
Alright, well now that I'm here, I'd like to do a little review of what we talked about today. Firstly, we talked about the great current BCS system and ranking system that we have. how well it does with the top 25 teams, and we talked about our tradition and how we have a great college tradition right now. We also talked about how the integrity of college football, despite all this, is still at stake. Thirdly, we talked about our solution to this problem, that 18 playoff system that we hope to propose and to input. Alright, so we all know that as the BCS, you want to do what is best for college football. You look out for college football. So, in that light, introduce our 18 playoff system, discard the first game of the season, and reallocate the bowl games to the playoffs. This will, and we are going to, increase fan base, increase revenue, save the integrity of college football, and while still keeping the tradition of college football and its essence. Alright, so I'd like to leave you guys with one little thing. We know the fans want it, we know we want it, and we know there is a huge population out here that wants that playoff system. But I'd like to leave you with the fact that so does Obama, your president, your head of state. And don't you want to do what Obama, your president wants? I think any sensible person would say that if you got a bunch of teams who played throughout the season, and many of them have 1 or 2 losses, there's no clear decisive winner, that we should be creating a playoff system. That would add 3 extra weeks to the season. You could trim back in the regular season. I don't know any serious fan of college football that disagrees with me on this. So I'm going to throw my weight around a little bit. I think it's the right thing to do. Alright, lastly, this is your opportunity to change college football for the better. And with the words of Obama, don't pass it up.